what is going on, do you?
us. Can't trust all y'all scandalous. She do fan signs, she want me something, I don't want be nothing, babe. Know you in it just for money, you ain't even cutting, babe. Tryna fake, you call me honey, I know you don't love me.
I wanted a parachute was scary like this. Hey, bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet. Parachute is scary like this. Hey, bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm saying no more.
No.
เ Whoa.